are. Here we are. 12:32 on Sunday, January 13th.
I had no idea what day it was.
What?
You didn't know it was Sunday?
What do you mean you don't know it's Sunday? It's what other day would we be doing
I
this?
didn't know the date.
Well,
That's different.
why? What's the 13th of January? Keeper of dates.
I'm sure it's
Nothing?
something, but
Human calendar.
I know.
I have some birthdays coming up next week, so
Keeper of dates.
the 17th, the 18th, the 23rd, the 27th are the only ones I have to worry about.
That's what you have to worry about. That's what Facebook's for.
Not when it's gonna be 2-year-old
Still a 2-year-old.
and her yaya has to
You
send
telling me
her-
2-year-olds don't have Facebook accounts? What's wrong with you?
No. She calls me on Facebook though.
See? So she already knows how to call people on Facebook.
Of course she does. And she knows how to use the filters
Oh, God.
so we can play
Uh-huh.
and laugh.
Coffee chat. Live at not 5.
Nobody should be drinking coffee at 5 unless it's AM.
I do that every day.
I don't.
Every day.
I don't even make my coffee until 6:21 every morning.
Oh, man, you gotta be drinking your coffee at least by 4:30.
I don't have coffee.
Excuse you?
I don't like coffee.
You could
Okay, you're a sad bunny. Thank you.
I'm a
Thank you,
sad
thank
bunny.
you, thank you for acknowledging the fact that you are a sad
whatever.
bunny.
I didn't drink coffee until I was 26, so he's got lots of time.
Both of you are still
Actually, a lot older than that.
both of you are still sad bunnies.
I was probably in my 30s when
You're
I started.
still not drinking coffee. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Can you see the color, folks?
That is not coffee colored. See, if you look in and you can't tell the bottom, like that's black, that's coffee. That, I don't know what the hell that is.
Coffee.
That's cream with a splash of cream.
It's just cream with a splash of coffee for color.
But you didn't add no color.
I did, because the creamer is...
Your creamer is the same color as the M&M's legs on the front of your thing. Uh-huh.
I can't deny it, he's correct.
Okay, so first week of school is in the bag. We are back from vacation.
Yeah.
We are in full swing now.
Even though we had a middle of the week break. Well, mine was middle of the week.
Break?
We took the kids to
Okay,
the aquarium.
okay.
That was a break. I didn't teach.
That's not a break. that was still a day of managing
It was a field
chillin', so aquarium.
It was nice.
Let's not focus on the school.
No. I want to talk about the
Let's focus on
aquarium.
the aquarium because we've been to many aquariums, and aquariums are becoming problematic. Okay, go ahead.
What?
I liked the fact that they had staff there to talk to our children. Like, our students actually sat down, they learned things, and they weren't rushed through. They were rushed through some parts, but not all of the parts. And I enjoyed the fact that I got to see new animals I'd never seen before. Like, I saw a black axolotl, and I'd never
There
seen...
are black ones.
Yeah, I'd never seen a black one. I've only seen the white ones and the pink ones. And the pink ones turn white if they're in captivity. But I'd never seen a black one. And then I saw an inverted jellyfish, which was kind of cool. I'd never seen that before. And I got to touch a jellyfish for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And the starfish pooped down one of my students, which was hysterical. Because she looked at me and she said, "Mrs. Farr, I touched the butt." And all I could hear was Nemo.
A lot of Nemo going on in the aquarium. A lot of Nemo action.
Yeah,
Are there a lot of clownfish?
Lots.
lots and lots of different types of clownfish. And,
Lots. Black ones.
yep. 3 stripe,
Black.
2 stripe, 1 stripe.
Yep.
I did
like a
like
Dr.
that
Seuss book.
I did like that the aquarium was focused on conservation. And my kids got more than yours did, apparently. But this aquarium actually has like a lab where you can watch them look at things under the microscope. The kids got to look at things under the microscope. They could ask the scientists questions as they were working, and a lot of my kids did.
Okay, you're talking about the interactive
The
side.
interactive part, because there's two sections of the.
Across the street from each other.
Yeah, one's in a mall, shopping mall.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the aquarium except for the penguins. I hate the penguins. I hate going to the penguin enclosure. Makes me want to cry every single time. And this one was so pathetic. I'm glad they didn't have very many penguins, but it didn't hurt any less.
Yeah. It was an aquarium. It wasn't great. It was okay.
They had a lot of species of sharks that I haven't seen in other aquariums. Like they had a lot of nurse sharks and tiger sharks, and they
where have you not seen those in other aquariums?
Well, I haven't seen
everywhere in the States. Pretty much.
They had lemon sharks, which I'd never seen in an aquarium.
How many aquariums have you been to in the United States?
Chicago.
Chicago. That's quite a ways away from those sharks.
Corpus Christi.
They should have had them there.
They didn't have them there.
They should have. Bad.
They failed.
Failure.
Did I one in Detroit? I feel like I went to one in Detroit or Lansing when I was young.
There's the Detroit Zoo.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, they have an aquarium section at the zoo.
I don't know of an aquarium in Detroit.
But they have the aquarium part at the zoos. So John Ball and Binder Park and all the different zoos all over.
Yeah, it was a lot of information, but it didn't seem like a lot of animals.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't like Shanghai, for sure.
It wasn't like anything I've ever been to in.
But they had cockroaches and bugs. They had different bugs in the aquarium, which I didn't understand.
Were they not water-dwelling bugs?
They were Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and then something else.
And you got to touch it?
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not? It's just a hissing cockroach. I mean,
they get this big.
No. They were only like.
They were only like 4 or 5 inches.
They were 4 or 5 inches.
Those
please, no, they weren't.
Ones.
They were like
the one that they were passing around for
like
the kids to
big.
touch was maybe like 2.5 inches.
If I wanted to see that, I'd just go back to Thailand.
I know, if you wanted to see that, you walk outside.
The lady was like, "Do you want to touch it?" And I was like, "No." And the French teacher's like, "You don't want to touch the cockroach?" I said, "No." I said, "In Thailand, in southern China, in Texas, and
They walk on you
Alabama,
every night.
and Georgia." Shut it. They
You
all
eat
fly.
at least 4 a day.
Shut it. No, what?
It's like all the spiders that you eat in a day.
So the French teacher and I were having this thing where we were going throughout the aquarium, and she would see something and she'd say, "Have you eaten this? Lobster, langoustine, crayfish, crab,
Lobster and crab.
snails, squid, octopus."
They had a lot of escargot.
They had a lot of escargot.
Yeah, but
then
I feel
entire
like lobster
like
and
3
crab
tanks
is,
of it.
I feel like lobster and crab is not very exotic.
Yeah, but
They are when they're
when you live on top of a mountain,
those big giants.
I mean,
Yeah,
we don't live close to the sea.
right.
True.
So, as we were going through, we saw a scorpion, and she said, "Have you eaten any bugs?" And I said, "I've eaten a scorpion. I've eaten silkworm larvae." And she's like, "What?" She was dying. We get to the snake. She's like, "You haven't eaten a snake." I said, "But I have."
Snake is good eating.
It's really yummy.
Yeah.
So then she was asking me all of the crazy things we've eaten over the years.
They had a couple of lizards. I swear they were fake.
Yes.
They were not breathing.
Yeah. You couldn't
And
see
one of them had an eye open and an eye closed. And
That
one of
really
them was
pretty
sitting there with the
chameleon?
eye closed. No, it wasn't a chameleon. It was two, kind of like a Gila monster type sized.
Yeah.
They weren't Gila. I think they
Like
were
a monitor.
Yeah, 2 monitors. They were in one cage with a wall.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it, and I stood there for a really long time, and I was like, there's no breathing happening. These animals breathe. They don't hibernate and stop breathing. It's like, why is this not breathing? Then I walked over to the other one and looked at it, and it didn't breathe. And it was just like, and they didn't move, and they didn't, like the whole time with all the interaction and all the people walking around, they didn't look at anything. Or I was like, this shit is fake. Why do they have fake lizards next to live animals? It's like, why? Why would you do that? Yeah, just have it, let it be empty.
It happens all the time.
The lizards are on a break right now or whatever.
Right.
You know, they're whatever.
Coming soon.
Why in one big aquarium have fake lizards?
Yeah, it was really like
It's like throwing a plastic fish into the water.
the chameleon. The kids kept trying to like tap on the glass, and all throughout the thing, every time they would tap on the glass, I would channel my inner Aaron, and I'd say, "Don't tap on the glass. The fish don't like it." And so finally, the kids started repeating it to other kids. Don't tap on the glass. The fish don't like it. One kid's like, "Pa, pa, pa," trying to make the dog face puffer puff up.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
I was like, dudes, don't do that.
It's not gonna puff up because you banged on the
I was like,
glass.
That's not.
You
not
aren't a
good.
threat.
Right.
I know.
Now that shark over there comes over.
I noticed it was a weird thing. It had to do probably with the way the water was flowing. But when you first came into the aquarium, there was a very large tank.
Yep.
And they sat the kids down in front of the tank. But then around the side, the tank kept going.
Uh-huh.
Okay. As they were talking to the kids, they're looking at the fish are swimming, essentially doing their circuit, right? But when you walked around the side and stood and looked, if you waited until everybody was moving, you never saw it. But all these fish, very large fish, were all with their tails back against the wall of the aquarium, pointed out, all in the same angle, and they were just sitting there, motionless.
Yeah, that's how the one puffers were when you went to the
It was weird.
open water one, like up, and there were 4 puffers, and they were just kind of like floating. They personally weren't moving, but they were just kind of like holding in this pattern of 4 of them just kind of bobbing around in this, and you could see the current, but they were just
No, I wasn't.
Weird.
No,
They
no,
weren't
but
moving.
I wasn't. I'm not talking about the lack of movement. I'm talking about that all these fish of the same species were all against the wall. They covered the entire wall, and they were all pointed out,
like they're ready to go.
like there was a predator. They were all pointed out, and they were all sitting there. And then then there was a grouper that kept just moving kind of back and forth, and then there were all these sharks just on the bottom, and they were just sitting there.
Yep.
They weren't moving. It was so weird. It was like, why are they all sitting there? It was like the whole time that I was at the aquarium, I was very aware of the fact that none of these animals should be here.
Right. Like some of the sharks are from southern Mexico. And one of the moms asked why nobody was in the tank with the sharks. And one of the kids said, because it's illegal to swim with the sharks in Mexico. And the mom said, no, no, no. And all of my kids, I only had 6 kids from my class. And then the other teacher had like 18 kids from her class. And all of them said, yes, it's illegal. We learned it in Mrs. Farr's class. Because when we were learning about land and sea animals, we watched a video on Epic about swimming with the sharks. And they came to Mexico, and the guy says, you can be in the cage, but you cannot swim with the sharks in Mexico because it's against the law. The government doesn't permit it.
Why?
Because it's dangerous for the sharks. The sharks here are protected.
But that's also kind of weird, because if you can get in the cage, then why is it? Why is it that you outside of a cage is different than you in a cage? If you were actually going to be dangerous for the sharks, you in the water with the sharks would be dangerous.
You're in the water regardless.
Right.
So
I don't know. That's
I'm not,
just what
I'm
he
not,
said.
I'm not buying that one.
That's just what it said in the video.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it
Did
said.
they have any octopuses?
They
Yes,
did not.
there were many octopi.
I did not see one.
It's octopuses.
It's octopuses.
I know. Yes, there were octopuses.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, I
Any
think there was at least
cuttlefish?
one. Yes.
Really?
I didn't see. No, I
was
didn't see
there
a cuttlefish.
No, there was a video of one.
Yeah, there was a video of a cuttlefish, and there was a video
There
of
was
an
there was
octopus,
a
but I
video of
didn't
a
see an
cuttlefish.
octopus.
There
Was
was
the
an
octopus.
octopus.
Were they in with other fish? The octopus?
Probably not.
I think there was one, but it wasn't in. It was by itself.
Oh, because
I believe.
I saw this one video. You know, some aquariums, how they like the center of it, it's got that huge tube.
Yeah,
In
like
the
they have
middle.
in Shanghai, and they had here. They had a big tube.
Oh. Okay.
That big circular one. I saw one video where everything was fine, and they had one octopus in there, and it was, I want to say it was an Australian giant octopus, I think. But the janitor came in like early the next day, and everything in that tank was dead. And the
Except
octopus
for the
had-
octopus.
Right, the octopus had killed everything. Ate all the small fish and then just started killing everything.
Octopuses are very smart.
Yeah, they are.
They're scary smart, and they teach each other.
Yep.
They're just finding that out, that they teach each other.
Some of the videos that you can find on YouTube with the octopus experiments, where they put the food in the jar, and the octopus has to then get out of the container it's in, and open the jar, and then get in and get the food. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing.
But
My
they-
kids were like sitting there, no way, Mrs. Farr, this isn't real. I'm like, oh, it's real.
But they have the same problem the cuttlefish do. After the females lay the eggs, they die. They had never have a chance to teach the babies.
But they
So
get
they-
taught.
By the males.
Well, sometimes, because they don't all live together.
Right.
There's one part where the habitat kept getting smaller and smaller because of people, and the really old octopuses were teaching the little ones how to eat and catch food, and it got to a point where they weren't even afraid of people anymore.
Telling you, octopuses, octopi,
No.
octo, they're taking over. They're doing it slowly and quietly.
They're really, really
Soon
smart.
they're gonna come right up on land and walk up and be like, "What up?"
What if we put an octopus brain inside of a robot?
Shut your hole.
That'd be awesome.
No.
I'm not listening to you anymore.
No. No.
Okay, so we did the aquarium. It was okay. It really wasn't anything, like there was no big draw to this aquarium. Like
The
usually they have
interactive
a
part
big,
is the draw.
nah, that can't be.
'Cause the
There's gotta
kids
be,
were
'cause then
all
you would
about-
never go across the street.
Maybe.
You know, you would only go to the interactive
Yeah.
part if that was the draw. There was no animal that was like, oh my god, you have to see this animal at
Well,
this aquarium. There
I
nothing
was
like
really
that.
surprised that they had in the part where you could touch the animals. I was surprised they had so many crayfish and they let the little kids touch them. And I was like, guys, you only touch their back. Do not go near their head. Do not go near their claws. And
Why
when-
not? I want to see a little kid be like, ah, and have it like
This
dangling.
little
ah!
girl was like trying to poke at its
That's always
claw,
fun.
and I looked at her and I said, "You're gonna lose a finger."
Nah, they're not gonna lose a finger. Not
She's
from
a
a crayfish.
teeny weeny little person.
Not
She
from a
could have lost
crayfish.
her finger.
No, you're not gonna lose no finger.
She's like, "It will really cut it off." I said, "It will make you bleed. It will hurt."
Well, it might hurt, but you know, a dog biting you would hurt.
I don't think she's gonna lose a finger.
Nah, they don't snap off fingers. It's just not what they do.
Whatever.
Especially not through the bone.
Keep your little fingers off their claws.
Nah, they can heal fast. They're kids. Just like they got rubber bones. They're just fine.
Yep.
So that was the aquarium. I like I said, I'm getting to the point now where I like the idea of saving animals that are endangered in these places so that they can be released back into the wild. I'm about that. I like that idea.
I think that's what they're doing with the axolotl because it was in that one section where the biologists were. And they're also growing corals and certain types of endangered kelp.
The coral thing, we watched her taking the baby coral and putting them in the big tanks, and that to me is useful use. It's a useful thing for
kids
an
to
aquarium
see. Right.
to do, and
they had tanks like jewelry cases, and they had all these teeny weeny little baby coral lined up like you would go to the jewelry store and say, "Oh, I want this piece of jewelry."
Yeah, they're like an inch in diameter.
And they had maybe 8 or 10 of these cases that were bigger than our table.
Yep.
And it was really cool to see that part. Our kids were asking lots of questions about what are these and why are these here and blah blah blah. And did they do the tidal wave thing where they showed the kids what the wave looked like?
Yeah, but they just showed the waves. It was supposed to be a tsunami thing, but it was only waves.
Well, one of the kids asked, "Can you do a tsunami?" And she said, "No, tsunamis don't happen very often, and most people, blah blah blah." And he said, "Mrs. Farr lived where there was a tsunami," and she kind of looked at me and she said, "You lived where there was a tsunami?" I said, "Yes, we lived in Phuket," and she said, "Oh. Should I show them a tsunami?" I said, "Yeah, show them a tsunami." But she didn't.
Yeah, it didn't look like the machine was able to generate that kind of wave.
Right,
that is going to throw that much water. Yeah. I don't think it was I just don't think it was designed it was designed to just do wave.
Yeah.
But
it was fun though to identify all these little animals because the kids would say, "Mrs. Farr, what's this? Mrs. Farr, what's that?" Because the other teachers didn't know their names.
There plaques on the thing.
Yeah, but some of them would switch to English and some of them were all in Spanish. But I had one child who decided that she was going to be my translator. And so while the people were talking, she would stand there and translate for me. And then the other kids wanted to help too. So then they started reading the things in Spanish and translating it into English for me. But that doesn't mean that they understand what they're reading. It just means that they're getting the words out.
Right. I mean, I don't know. There was a lot. There was a lot to read, and
we didn't have time for that.
You could have learned quite a bit, and I don't know. I don't. As far as like being in this part of the world, so close to the United States, and going to aquariums in the States. It did not feel like there was anything for me. It was not a whole lot of new. It was like a whole lot of the same.
Like I said,
and it was weird. What was really weird is when they showed they had a tank and had a big, kind of like this large white fish in it. And when you watch the screen, it was sitting there and it was like. This fish comes from this place, and it was somewhere near South America, Mexico-ish. It was like that whole circle. And then this fish, in same place, and this fish, same place. And then that big white fish, Asia.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would they put that together? Why would they put those fish in, with...
The giant white gourami?
Mm-hmm. It was like, why would they do that? It's like... That's the problem
I think it's probably
like,
because of
you don't...
The water temperature and the salt levels are probably the same. And listen, let me just tell you.
But I'm just saying, if you're trying to learn about the animals, you don't put animals that are from different parts of the world in the same tank.
But that's how they sell them. They sell them next to each other in the fish store.
Wait a minute, we're not talking about fish stores. We're not talking about eating. You're gonna make it even worse.
I'm not talking about
you're gonna eat the penguins too
in the pet stores.
Pet store.
Because when I was in college, when I was in university, it was common for the guys to have tanks with Oscars and gouramis and snakeheads, and we had a wolffish, and then they would put them in together. And so I was telling the kids that you can teach the Oscars and the Grammys and the Piranha, you can teach them all to eat from your hand. And they were like, no, no. And one of the staff, she was like, yes, we feed them from our hand.
Hmm?
And the one boy was really excited because his name is Oscar, so he got to see the fish named after him. That's what he said. They named it after me. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, they did. Mm-hmm.
Or your parents named you after the fish.
But this was the first time
Fish
I had
boy.
ever
Fish
taken.
boy.
This is the first time I had ever taken a young class of students to an aquarium where I didn't speak the language. And so it was really interesting to see how much they did in English and how much they did in Spanish, and how well the students understood both. So it was kind of fun that way, but I kept thinking, would Aaron and Keegan enjoy this? And then we get to the end and I'm like, meh.
It was very small.
They've been to enough that no, it wouldn't be something that they'd want to spend their 2 hours doing.
It was small.
It was.
I wonder what penguin tastes like.
What?
What? Wait a minute.
We don't
We're not-
eat penguins, sir.
Why?
What?
What do you mean, why not?
If you are in the place where penguins live,
You don't eat penguin.
what if you have nothing else to eat?
You don't eat
To
penguin.
survive.
You don't eat penguin.
Why not?
I don't know if penguin is palatable. I don't know if it's something that.
It's got a lot of fat.
Yeah, I don't think a penguin is gonna be good eatings.
Ugh, I'm gonna look that up.
Except for those little
Macaroni penguins.
yeah, they
think they
come
taste like
to South
cheese?
America. They like to dance.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There are
Penguins.
tropical penguins.
Yes, tropical penguins.
Ah, I
They
forgot
surf.
about that.
Oh my
They
goodness.
don't surf.
Surf's up, man.
No.
You've seen Surf's Up.
Yes, I've seen surfs.
Well, there you go. They surf.
Penguin tastes like a piece of beef, odoriferous codfish, and a canvas-back duck roasted together in a pot with blood and cod liver oil for sauce.
Nice.
Gross.
In other words, it tastes like fishy beef. It's probably got the texture of beef, and it's fishy, of course.
Huh.
I mean, it's salt, water, animal. So
Yeah.
so what? But yeah, I don't
But
think
most
people eat.
penguins are protected by law, and it's
Yeah.
illegal to kill them.
Yeah, you're not eating them.
Yeah.
There was an ancient penguin statue in there that was
Colossal.
taller than you, and
Yeah.
its beak was
The colossal
I
penguin.
can't get further. It was about that long.
Yeah,
The beak was about that long.
the colossal penguin. He was huge.
Is that a prehistoric one?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't
forgot
know.
about the Galapagos penguins.
Please go watch Happy Feet and then get the penguins
Surf's Up,
out.
too.
I just said Surf's Up.
No, but Happy Feet will change.
Please
your-
watch Happy Feet and get rid of the penguins from the exhibits, please.
Please. It's
because-
heartbreaking every single time.
You watch him lose his mind in
Oh,
Happy Feet, and then you watch it happen in front of you in every penguin. The one in Hong Kong, they were doing it, and everybody, oh, it's so cute.
no, it's not cute.
They're not having a great time over there.
I forgot about the
So-
one in Hong Kong.
I didn't. That was
Because that was the last one you went to before we left.
what was that?
Ocean
place?
Park.
Ocean Park, yeah.
Ocean
They're-
Park is really nice, but
It's nice, but
they have a gigantic penguin exhibit. It's huge.
and they all look like Happy Feet. It looks like Happy Feet
They all
in
look
there.
like Mumble in there.
Yep. So
Do it for
Anyway.
Williams. Save the penguins.
save the penguins, save the planet. All right.
There's a island in the Falkland Islands that this man is selling, and it has like 5 different species of penguins and all these different cattle and birds. And he's selling it to anyone who wants to continue to care for the animals on the island, like protect them and
Is
encourage.
it warm?
Yeah,
Let's go.
we don't have any money to buy it.
Oh.
I would
He's
go.
not gonna give us money to
Have
just
her on
live
the
there.
island.
He
Yeah,
would
I
like
would-
for them to, for whoever.
Can we get internet?
I don't know.
Oh,
He
see,
would
that's
like for
kind of
whoever to
different.
take it over, whoever takes it over, to make it a tourist destination so that the island can pay for itself.
Well, yeah, of course.
So, but that was just something that somebody sent to me yesterday.
I could live
After
out
my penguin come,
my animal husbandry fantasy.
I would love it to live there.
Are there
I would love-
dolphins?
Well, it's on an island.
Dolphins in the oceans.
Yeah, I know, but are
I would
there dolphins
imagine there.
around?
I would
'Cause
imagine.
then you can have the dolphins that swim up into the pool, like into the.
Oh, stop it. They don't swim into the pool. They are in the pool.
Well, they swim into the house.
Right, they swam into the
From the
house.
pool.
The house,
Yeah.
the pool was part of the house.
We know now not to do that to the dolphins.
No. We could do that.
Yeah,
But
'cause
I
they
would,
go out
I
to
would,
the ocean
I would let them go out to the ocean
Yeah.
though, and then they could come up
if they wanted to.
if they wanted to.
But they were in a pool before.
Right, that was a pool.
Right.
We don't want that.
But the woman that was working with them was a marine biologist in the movie. Anyway,
She
2001. Watch it if you haven't seen it.
How was 2010? With
Oh, that's the second one, 2010, the sequel.
Yeah.
But watch both because it's Aaron's favorite movie.
I feel
All
like
right.
I need to watch it again because I don't really, I didn't really understand it.
Well, you see, you might get a different perspective because 2001 was good. And you know, since we're inching closer every day to Hal taking over and killing everybody.
Shut.
Since we're
It's
getting
already
there,
in our computers.
well, yeah, of course. But since we're getting there, well, you know, you might as well watch it again. You should watch it every year. It should be a yearly watch because there's a lot of stuff there. We still haven't been. I mean, they're still trying to get to the. They are still trying to. I mean, Elon Musk is doing it, and Virgin is doing it. They're all still trying to get to the point where we're doing low Earth.
Virgin?
Yeah, Virgin Airlines.
They're trying to do space travel?
Yeah, no. They're trying to do the low Earth. What is it called? Low.
Atmosphere.
No, it's not low atmosphere. It's where you get to the edge of space, and then ride across, and then come back down. They're trying to do that. It's like we're right when you're becoming weightless, and you can look out the windows and see the curvature of the Earth. They're trying to get that flight and that tourism going.
Like a missile. Kind of.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but it's a plane.
5 hours ago they laid off 600 people.
Who did? Virgin?
Elon Musk and SpaceX.
Yeah, but that was SpaceX.
Yeah, but didn't he do something?
And they also just built they also broke ground, I believe, this week on their new plant. So you can't lay up. You lay up a bunch of people on one side and you hire a bunch of people on the other.
Yeah, but didn't Elon Musk get into like trouble or something?
Oh yeah, he got
yeah.
in trouble. But he got in trouble. But he's still he's not. What is it? He's not CEO of the company anymore, and he can't be CEO for a certain amount of years. But he still has controlling stock.
Yep.
So
He's still the boss.
So in other words, he's still the boss. He's still in control. Go Elon. Smoke that weed, man. Smoke that weed.
Okay,
Is that
so
why he
this
got in trouble?
No.
But smoke that weed.
this island has
He was smoking weed on a I think it was with Joe Rogan,
maybe.
where he was doing an interview and he was sitting there. He lit up. It was great.
This island has thousands of penguins, 6,000
You're still on the
sheep.
island? We have moved on. We have
let's
moved
go
on
to
to
the
Elon Musk
island.
smoking weed. What are you
I
talking
don't
about?
give a shit about who anybody smoking weed. I don't do it. I don't want to do it.
Smoking
have
weed
you
is
seen
good.
I don't want my
Snoop's
family to do
podcast?
it.
Yeah, we should probably watch that and talk about
What?
Yeah.
it. Snoop's podcast.
Yeah, he has a podcast and everybody he has
Snoop
on
Lion.
there.
Everybody's high.
Yeah, everybody. the
Yeah,
whole-
but
Because I got high.
What was that roast that they did and Snoop was blazed up the whole entire
Snoop's
time?
always blazed up. What the
Yeah, I
hell are
think
you
it was
talking
Justin
about?
Bieber or
Oh, it was
whatever.
the Justin Bieber
Yeah,
roast.
Oh, God, come on
And
now.
he's like, it's like, whatever. There's a clip of him sitting there. And someone said he was late, and he's like, "I'm here. Just be happy I'm here.
I know.
I didn't have to come. I could have stayed at home.
High.
I could've
Because I
stayed
got
at-
high.
I could have stayed at home and shot an Instagram video.
Yep.
Because he has like one video every day.
Yep.
I don't watch anybody every day.
I don't
All right.
know.
So what else we got for this week before we dive into the heavy stuff?
Aaron convinced me
What?
that he needed the YouTube Red.
Now, why does Aaron need you to? Can you get the cat out of the trash can, please? before I shoot him in the face.
Okay. So Aaron convinced me he needed the YouTube Red because he wanted to watch the Game Grumps series and the Rhett and Link series.
Yeah, but why do we need Red?
Because it was free for a month.
Oh, so it's gonna be it's canceled now, right?
No, not yet.
No, it should be canceled.
No, it's not.
No, it should be.
He said it a week.
Right.
He's got.
But you got to cancel it so that it doesn't reoccur.
Yep. So anyway.
You have it free for a month.
Yeah, but
I have it
the
in my
problem with
phone.
all those free for a
No,
month
no, no,
things turns into
I have
free
it in
for a
my
month and
phone
cost you for the
to
rest of your
cancel
life.
this date. So anyway, here I'm thinking, oh, I'm being a nice mommy.
No,
I'm
no,
letting him
you're not
watching
nice
this
mommy.
stuff. Why the hell is a child making me watch this shit?
Why not?
It's funny.
Right, it's funny.
You like Rhett and
People
Link,
like
I like
sharing the funny.
I like Rhett and Link, but
and I rarely show you stuff.
the Game Grumps though, dude.
What's wrong? Why don't you like them?
They're 12-year-old boys in adult bodies.
Should we save this for the gamer chat?
No.
No.
But the show is about esports.
Right.
You guys can talk about it for the gamers.
I have nothing to talk about. I've never seen them.
They're crazy.
They're funny.
Okay.
And I only made
I need
watch
your
one
help.
episode.
Of the Grumps.
Before we get into the deep stuff, I need more coffee.
All right.
What deep stuff are you referring
Oh,
to?
we have. Where are you going?
I've got to turn the water on.
Turn the water on. What the hell?
You want
So
cold
what
coffee?
else? What else? What else do we have for this week that happened this week? Anything? It's been a light week, just so you know. Not a whole lot going on.
I made an axe out of cardboard.
You know, you're like that old man on the park bench.
What?
I can make a book of talk.
That's exactly what I heard.
I think that's you because you just came out of nowhere. Okay.
Well, I was trying to think.
Okay.
What
let's be a
exciting
little.
did I
let's
do?
let's be more specific. You didn't just make an axe. What were the materials you used?
I used cardboard and hot glue.
Cardboard and hot glue. Okay, and you were using essentially all flat pieces of cardboard that you then had to cut out
Yeah, from boxes.
from old boxes and new boxes, and made axes. Now, what kind of axe did you make?
Like a Viking kind of axe.
Was this a throwing axe?
No,
Was this a chop down a tree axe?
no. It's somewhere in the middle. It's about that big, and I guess you could. It's a bit bigger than a throwing axe. It's a tiny bit bigger.
Okay.
Because a throwing axe is.
Did it have a straight
No,
handle?
It was curved because it's more comfortable that way.
Was it like a Groot handle? Really? You forgot?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
No, it wasn't
Stormbreaker?
Stormbreaker.
Yeah,
No,
you gotta have
that
Groot
one
handle.
that one is straight, isn't it?
It's Groot.
Well, yeah, it is
It's not
Groot,
straight,
but-
it's Groot.
You know, I was thinking about that. I don't want to spoil it for mommy, but
No spoilers.
wouldn't the handle disappear with him? Because it's a part of. Well, I guess it's not a part of.
Probably
it.
not.
Yeah, because he cut off his arm.
I mean, I'm sure Groot leaves pieces of himself all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a tree.
like all the debris from the first movie.
I mean, I'm sure he sheds leaves every year.
Maybe.
You know, I'm just gonna do it this way.
Oh God, that's fine. Just leave it there. Did you make new?
Yes, I did.
All right, so we have coffee now. All right, so
No, it's not like Stormbreaker.
so
And I didn't paint it.
our topic of the day. We call it topic of the day. Our happy topic of the day.
Oh God, no.
You notice that I did not tell you to watch it.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, you know better than that.
No. You should, but you notice that I did not tell you to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the R. Kelly.
Can you say trigger, trigger, trigger?
We're talking. No. It's not that. It's. There's a. I don't know. I don't. I think everybody should watch it. As, if nothing else, even if every accusation was totally false, it's still a cautionary tale about predatory nature and parenting and for teenage boys and girls, what look out for, kind of like look out for this. So even at that most base level, forget R. Kelly, forget star and music and all the other stuff, race, gender, forget all that stuff. Just it is this 6-part series, Surviving R. Kelly, that was on, I think, Lifetime.
Yep.
It is truly, it's truly a cautionary tale, because as I was watching it, it was like, how could you? There's a point in there where parents don't have contact with their girls anymore.
What? Say what now?
So.
Say, I'm sorry. Who?
So, because of this,
That's their fault.
No, it's not at all.
I'll be on your motherfucking door.
Like I said, it doesn't matter. See, here's where it becomes very interesting. They keep showing in the series as it goes through. The first one kind of focuses on like his upbringing, his family, the things that the awful things that happened to him as a child. But then they start bringing in the girls after he becomes famous. After the first 2 albums, and he's now trolling his old high school for girls, essentially. And everybody knew he was there. Everybody saw him there. It was his school, so the teachers knew he was there, kind of thing. Okay. So,
but nobody did anything?
Look, if you want to watch the series, you watch the series.
No, I don't want to watch the series.
But these girls were young teens. Okay? Young teens. Not the 17, 18, 19. I'm talking like
14, 15.
I'm talking about 13, 14, 15. Now, it gets to a point where he keeps, like, there is a 14-year-old, and that's the sex tape one that everybody saw that I've never seen. Apparently.
I've seen it.
But that
I've seen a clip of it.
That girl was the niece of Sparkle. She introduced, and she talks about it in there. See, that's why you kind of need to watch it. This whole storyline of she introduced her niece to R. Kelly because her niece wanted to be in the music business too, and thought that R. Kelly could help her niece the way that he was helping her, and that girl ends up being the girl on that tape, and she was 14 at the time.
I thought she was 15.
She was 14 at the time. And in Illinois, which I didn't know, the legal age of consent is 17. Which is interesting because I always thought it was just a universal
18.
American thing. 18, you're an adult, you can consent. No. So he basically, a little bit before the trial and definitely after the trial, he ends up being get 17-year-olds. And now nobody can say anything. Nobody can do anything because they can consent, which also means nobody can break down any doors to go get them. So once they turn 18, then it's over.
Right.
They can now choose to live with this person, and no one can drag them out anymore.
Right.
And that's where we are today. There's at least 2 girls that the families are saying he's got them. They're in his house or in the studio. They are there. They won't leave. And that's where the idea of the sex cult is coming in, because the idea of a cult is essentially brainwashing.
Yeah.
And it's it's a series that is so problematic on so many levels. There's this idea because at the beginning, and I think people need to really think about this because they're going to focus on R. Kelly,
Right.
but they're not going to focus on what they talk about at the beginning of the series, the Beatles and their songs about having, a girl who was, what is it, the line, she looked 17, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Which means she wasn't 17.
And Tiffany ended up redoing that song later. I remember that line only because of her.
Well, there's the Beatles. That's men looking at young girls, and these young girls are their fans. And then you had, what's his name, that married his own cousin. I can't remember his
Great
name
Balls
now.
of Fire,
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, married his own cousin and never did anything. You had Elvis Presley, who went overseas and brought back a teenager.
Yep.
And he was in the military, which means he had to be
At least
way
18.
old.
Yep.
And he brought back a teenager, and that's
He was 23 or something
yeah, she
like
was a
that.
teenager.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you start putting all these things together, it's like, wait a minute, this is a thing that's been going on in the music business for a very long time. So it's like, and it was like, you have a star, let's say a male star. All of the people coming to see him were going to be teenage girls. I mean, there's a thing that we call the heartthrob, and there were teenage girls coming to these things, and I don't know if this is cultural, but it wasn't teenagers having teenage fans. It was adults having teenage fans.
Loretta Lynn got married at 13, and her husband was much, much older than her.
Okay. I don't know what you're saying.
That's another music thing where
No, you're saying, but she was the star though.
Yeah, but he was still in his 20s.
But who's the guy? A fan?
No, it was her
See, what they're talking about here is they're
manager.
What are you doing?
He's trying to jump up on stuff.
They're talking about the problem of control. The male that is controlling the women because they're starstruck.
Yeah, he was
That's
21 and she
a
was
different dynamic than what
13.
you're talking about. I mean, getting the idea of young women getting married early, it goes. I mean, you watched it in Color Purple. I mean, it's just that was just a thing.
Still
Especially
is a thing.
in rural areas, that was a thing. And if somebody got pregnant, shotgun weddings are real. So I mean that's essentially why he marries Aaliyah. Is because she was pregnant.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I thought that they just got married for some other reason. I always thought that it was essentially, it might have been a business thing.
That's what I thought.
That's why they got married. But apparently,
she didn't have a baby.
She was having sex with him on the bus, and they all saw it.
I told you that I just read the thing where that dancer said she saw them having sex.
Oh no,
When
it was one of the backup singers that's in the video says the same thing.
Yeah, she said
she said that
saw
the door
it.
pops open and they're having sex right there. It's like, and then the manager that for R. Kelly said that he came to her and said he thinks she might be pregnant, and then says we need to we got to get married kind of thing. So
because he'd go to jail.
Right. So, and it's just it's an issue, I think, that I don't know. When we look at time and we look at what's going on today, a lot of the millennials, a lot of the people of our generation are outraged and, oh my God, this is so bad. And
Whatever, we
but you
knew
know
it was
what?
going on forever.
No. I'm saying that as a culture, nobody talked about any of this stuff. I mean, you had all of those 20, 30 something rock stars that had teenagers,
Yep.
and they would do whatever after the shows.
Yep.
You never. So why?
And they're not carding them. They're
No,
not saying.
and that's the thing. That one of the guys says that he's like, I walked in and there were all these young women, and it was obvious none of them were 18. So to him, just looking at them, it's like, yeah, none of these girls are of age. So it's like, now what do you do? What do you do? Depending on who you are in that situation, the one guy says it. We worked for R. Kelly, so what do you expect? What do you? He essentially is saying, what do you expect us to do? We work for him,
Right.
So if
you want us to lose our jobs,
yeah,
our way of
right.
supporting our families, and
all of that. So it's like it's a very convoluted thing, and then you get to the artistry and the music and the fact that people don't want to let go of all of this stuff. But yeah, the series itself, it's definitely cringeworthy, but it's also like there's something really wrong with this guy.
well, because molestation is so prevalent or was so prevalent in our generation and your mom's generation.
No, I don't think. I think it
my
was,
mom's generation.
I think it was prevalent
and
through time.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a generational problem.
At what point do the parents stop overlooking it? Like I am
Overlooking how? What do you mean?
Well,
I don't think
a
that's
lot
what's
of
happening.
especially for me, being a victim from the time I was 2 until I was 11 of molestation, and then I was raped when I was in college, and then I was raped by my ex-husband. At what point does the mom say, I am never, ever, ever going to let my children suffer the way I did?
Yeah, but how do you stop it? That's just it. How does a parent stop that when the child is going after making themselves available to the person who might do them harm?
Well, I guess I don't know that part because that's not how our children function.
Okay, forget our children. You're saying, why don't the mothers and fathers protect the children? It's like, but
they never
how do
tell
they do
them. Like, what I've discovered, especially in the years of becoming more comfortable with talking about what happened to me, what I've discovered is that the moms never share with the kids. They never say, this happened to me, and it wasn't my fault. It was the adult's fault, and this is what I could have done to make it stop. But I didn't know that then because nobody told me. I didn't know that I could.
Could you make it stop?
I could have gone to my mom.
But that doesn't mean it would stop.
It would have stopped.
No.
It would have stopped.
That's not true because you can be victimized not just by people that you know, but by people you don't.
But
it could have happened by somebody else in your community.
I agree. However, for my situation, the minute I finally found my voice and said, no, you are not going to do this to me. I'm not going to have this happen to me again. And I went to my mom and I said, he tried to do this. My mom lost her shit and she went right to him, and that was it. I didn't have any contact really with him ever again.
Yes, but that's if you have that, but what do you do as a parent when it's you going to them?
I don't know.
You see that?
I don't know
that's
how you
the
do that.
That's the situation that we're seeing with the R. Kelly thing. He is predatory in nature, going to malls, going to high schools, blah 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 blah. But all he's essentially doing is talking, and can basically
Manipulating.
Yeah, but a guy who was interested in any girl, no matter what her, like, it's not an age problem. It's, of the same age, and I just want to be boyfriend and girlfriend with this girl. There is a manipulation there, and that's what I kept thinking about. There's how do you get the girl, and then how do you keep the girl?
Right.
Okay. Now, all he is essentially doing is talking.
until.
No. He's talking. He's not forcing them to stay. That's the thing that they bring out in this series is because of the abuse, they stay. But he's not forcing them to stay. If they leave, they leave. You see? But they're so damaged. But they're so damaged at a certain point that leaving is not a possibility for them anymore, psychologically speaking.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy who is what he says he is, the Pied Piper of music, and they keep saying that over and over and over through this. The Pied Piper of R&B. He's the guy who can coax young women into coming with him, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
And they kept saying that over and over and over in the series, and it's just like,
well, if that were true, then there wouldn't be these women speaking out.
No, these are women that survived him.
But where are the other ones? They don't die.
No.
So
where
he
are
just
they?
has a house of women?
Yeah. He had one in Atlanta, because one of them goes back there and tells you about it. He has his studio in Chicago.
They live in the studio?
Yeah, the studio has multiple rooms where they can use the facilities, like the bucket in the corner to pee and poop in.
What?
They can't leave. They can't go anywhere. This is what I'm saying. This is why I say it is important to watch. I have not told you to watch it, but it is important to watch because even his second wife, this is the wife after Aaliyah, she lived and never knew what he was doing. She didn't know about all of the women, all of the other women, and they were in the same house.
Huh?
Because she was not allowed to go anywhere. She couldn't leave the room unless she asked permission to go. Yeah. You see, the type of manipulation and control that he is exerting is cultish. And that's why they're talking about it in those terms. Where if you think about a cult, you have this charismatic leader that is there, that nobody does anything to make them angry or make them upset, and everybody is worried about their feelings above their own.
Yeah.
That's a cult.
Yep, it is.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it's I don't know. I think people are going to have, like we were talking about the other day, people are going to have a really hard time with this R. Kelly thing much more than the Bill Cosby thing. Right now, I think people are looking at the Bill Cosby thing as like, oh, it's kind of creepy, it's kind of not right.
But they were adults.
With Bill Cosby, they were adults, weren't they?
No, it doesn't matter.
He's still
violating. He's still violating another person, and he's still doing it for his own sexual benefit. Yeah. I mean, I don't think, and understand that at least 3 or 4 of the women that are in this series are in their 30s.
Wow.
These are not all and post after the court case, and he gets off. Basically, he is within the law because all the girls are like 17.
Right.
So then, what do you say? What do you say to an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old that you need to get away from this person? I mean, is this like Scientology at this point then?
There's nothing you can say or do
to make them leave.
There's nothing that you can do to convince them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make that choice on their own.
It's like going and being in any church, group. It doesn't matter.
Temple, mosque, whatever.
Anything.
It is. Yep.
If you want to stay and you're an adult, nobody can pull you back out.
Nope.
You've got to decide at some point that I got to get out of here. One of the stats that was interesting that came up in this is, and I never heard this before, is that on average it takes women 7 times to leave.
Yep. I know that statistic.
That was really interesting to me. It's like 7 times. It's like that's a lot of leaving and going back and leaving and going back. That's
it's funny because that you say that statistic because I actually have used that within the last month or so. My friend that's having issues in her marriage, she always says, I sent the divorce papers, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, we're finished. And the last time that she went through this nonsense, I said to her, how many times have you left and gone back? And she said, I don't know. I said, has it been 7 or more? And she said, I don't think it's been 7 yet. And I said, okay, let me know when you get to 7.
Right. Because then you might be serious.
Right, because then
it might be
right.
be over.
I said, and she's like, I don't understand. And I said, women in abusive relationships, like you are in an abusive relationship, go back on average 7 times before they say enough is enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like I said, the series itself to me is worth watching for all of the things that it highlights.
The predatory behavior,
about human nature, about women, about teenagers, about the psychology behind it, about control, about abuse, about the society at large. Because one of the things, one of them says that was interesting is it was society that told him that he could do these things.
Right, because
because he never got in trouble.
Right.
It was the music. It wasn't just the music business. Everybody likes to point at, oh, it's the bad music business. No, the music business contributes, but society said it was okay for this behavior to exist.
Right, and to continue.
Yeah, and we, not the people buying albums, but just we, the society, gave license to this behavior. And by saying, oh, well, he's a rock star, or, oh, he's an R&B star, and, oh, of course,
what is
young
he supposed
girls.
to do, card every girl?
Well, no, forget that. Just, who are you singing to? You're always singing to teenagers.
Yeah.
They are the number one dynamic.
Between
they're the people that you're
15
actually
and
talking
22
to.
or 23.
Yeah,
Something
that's your core group.
Those are the ones who are buying your music.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have a people who were, and this is definitely a sign of the times because I don't think this would happen like this again, but. It was in the 2000s early 2000s when the court case happens. Mm. It sat in not getting done for almost 10 years. Yeah, that's a whole nother problem. Yeah, I'm telling you,
I wonder how much
it's
that cost
worth
him.
Watching. But this court case happens, and R. Kelly has a whole bunch of women who are saying that the people bringing the charges against him are attacking him. His defenders are women. See, today it's like flipped with Me Too and what's the other one? The other movement, All Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Those two things together have made it so that people come like you. I don't think anybody both. But I don't remember seeing any people that were sitting around going, defending Bill Cosby. They were the people that were there at the courthouse were people that were angry at Bill Cosby for his behavior. Yep. So it's kind of flipped. But right now, or then, when R. Kelly is going through this trial, the people that were there at the trial every day were people that wanted to defend him, and they were all women against the women that he was victimizing. See, that whole dynamic has now, I think, changed a bit.
That Boondocks trailer, that I've seen 50 times now, posted, that makes more sense to me. Because I didn't...
Why didn't she leave? That one?
No, where he's standing up in the courtroom and he's got blindfold on and he's singing on the table and all the people are, "Ooh!" And the character gets up and he says, "Stop this stupid shit. He's not right. Yes, the courts are always trying to railroad black men, but not all black men are right."
There's another one where they're outside
No, this is in the courtroom.
And the character is sitting there, and he was like, I just don't understand why she didn't leave. And that thing, you know,
they don't understand. They don't.
Well, that's the I don't know. One of the guys called it Stockholm syndrome. One of the fathers, but that idea.
It's sort of, kind of.
Well, they're there. They're gonna protect him. They're gonna do. I mean, they're gonna do everything to not make it. It's more like a cult.
Stockholm syndrome is when you've been kidnapped.
But they
haven't been kidnapped. They went on their own free will.
Yeah,
he didn't snatch them up.
They did, but they didn't. And that's no.
In their minds,
seriously, if you watch it, there is that problem of did they?
But
because
I'm saying in their minds, they went on their own free will.
No.
Whether you and I see it that way
No.
or not is
I'm telling you, if you watch the series, you're going to come away with, did they really? Because some of these people walked into rooms, and he told them to put their stuff away, and they were never planning to be there.
Oh.
And it was like, okay, here you go, here's your room, and this was a 30-something. And she didn't get a chance, and she was stuck there.
Well, how did she not? Why
see
can't
what I mean?
she get out?
No. That's just it. That's the psychological part. That's the part.
Because
the control that he had over them, he didn't move them in until he had that control.
Oh.
You see? And then it was like, now they are not equipped
Yeah.
to leave.
Because he's broken them down
Right.
to the point where
they're not going to leave.
Yeah.
You see, but this was teenagers, this was 17 somethings, this was 18 something, and these were 30 somethings.
Wow.
Yeah. And I can't fathom it. I can't understand how any guy can control that many women like that. I mean, and one of the guys said it. One of the guys said it. He was like, he is the pimp of old. He is, Superfly and all, because he is this guy who can have all these women in line and all worried about his well-being and what he thinks and feels and trying to placate this guy.
I think honestly that's always been a big fear of mine with the kids is how can I protect them if I'm not there? How can I give them the tools to not fall for that kind of shit?
That's where I think the series is going to be most useful as a cautionary tale.
See, Aaron uses my words on me all the time, and I hate it because I like to squish his little arms back here. And what do you tell me?
It's my body. I make the rules of it. Same thing you told me throughout my entire life.
And I don't like when he does that because I just want to squish him, but he's right. It's his body. He makes the choices. And I gave that to Aaron and Keegan from birth. I would never let him be in an exam room unattended. Even when Aaron had to have an emergency procedure in Thailand, the doctor and the male nurse pulled the curtain, and I was like, no, I am not going to let you perform a procedure on my child, and I can't see it.
Yeah, but
because I'm that overprotective,
hyper
paranoid.
I don't think you're understanding the level at which this series is talking about. It doesn't matter because now with the communication tools that we have, these conversations and this level of
this stuff happens
verbal
and nobody
control can be happening, and no parent even has a clue what's going on because it's happening on a cell phone. It's happening,
and they can delete the text messages.
Forget the deleting text messages. You don't have to delete them.
Could just be in your DMs.
It's just there.
Yeah, but maybe I'm just one of those weird moms because if I hear the messenger going off and these two don't use Messenger or they don't use their DMs and Instagram, I don't look.
But you're saying because they don't use it, it's out of the norm for it to be going off.
If they
in
did,
a world like the United States today, these kids are always getting these messages. It would never throw up a red flag that they're getting messages.
Yeah, but
it would just be that they were getting messages. And every time you look, you're gonna see my girlfriend, my friend, all high school stuff. That's what you're going to see.
Yeah, but I read the messages.
No, it doesn't matter. You're going to see that. You're not going to be able to protect them from it because they can always just go and delete that chat.
Yeah.
They can always hide it from you
Yeah.
and still have had the conversation with the other.
The manipulation.
So,
the
yeah,
control,
whatever. It's already in there. So, it's a different world. It's not like us where we had the one phone in the house with the one line and you could pick up the phone and everybody was getting flipping, they were getting busy signals and shit. That all that life is gone.
Yep.
You can have many conversations on so many different platforms on a phone, on a computer, at school, walking home. I mean, you lose as a parent, and that's, one of the parents, they highlight that idea because they were like, we are definitely very overprotective parents. And all of a sudden our child is gone. Like they were just gone. They were literally sitting there and saying, the child sent us a message saying that she was already with R. Kelly. She's with him in the hotel. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, how did it? And then they come to find out they've been talking for months. You see? And they're in Florida.
Wow.
You see? So, I mean, and it was all because the mother and father and the girl, the young teenager, went to a concert together for the husband's birthday. And they went to it was a concert, but R. Kelly was one of the acts. And R. Kelly did this thing where he pulls a bunch of women on stage to dance or whatever.
Yeah.
And that girl was one of the girls. What do? You're going to tell your child who wants to be in the business already, no? You're going to tell them no, that they can't go on stage with their idol, with R. Kelly at that time in the 90s, 2000s? And then he goes and gives that person through his people his phone number. What is that girl going to do?
She's going to call him.
Hell yeah, she's going to call him. 1, she wants to be in the business already. 2, she's already singing. 3, she is enamored with R. Kelly. I mean, come on now. There are 30s, like I said, there are 30-somethings that have the same feeling, and they don't even want to be in the business. Yeah. They love R. Kelly. Okay, they're fans. What they were trying to call super fan. I don't know why that makes a difference, but they're fans. They're fans of this particular person, even if it's a groupie. I think as parents, you sort of lose.
Yeah.
You're not going to win this battle of trying to stop the communication.
Yeah.
In this way. You're just not going to do it. Not today. You could do it back in the day. You could take the phone off the hook, and the child there's no other way.
Take the phone. Look.
You could take the phone off the hook.
My dad will put the phone in the car and go to work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You take the phone off the hook. You just literally remove the phone, but you can't do that now. There's just no way to do that. A child can go to computer class and now be talking to that person.
Right.
It's just, there's no way.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a eye-opening series. I think I know that a lot of people are using this series for a way to talk to their kids. Yeah. About all of these issues. Mm-hmm. Even starting with R. Kelly being 8-year-old that's being molested. Yeah. And then you come to find out his brothers were molested too. You see, so I mean, it's not this was a problem where they were, and they don't say who was molesting them. I don't know if it was a family member or if it was someone in the neighborhood. But his brother tells you, he's like, look, I was molested, and when I thought about going to my mother, I didn't go to my mother because I thought she would throw it away like it didn't happen. And he said, I went to my older brother, who was R. Kelly at the time, told him what was happening to me, and he said, no, it didn't. It didn't happen. So basically, that cycle
continued on.
Was going on of you don't talk about this. These things don't happen. This is what happened with the 14-year-old that was on the tape. She said she was not on the tape, even though she was. Her parents said that she was not on the tape, even though she was. And she was clearly known that it was her. More than one person knew who was on that tape. But since they all said no, he gets off. Because the embarrassment, most likely, of being on the tape.
And that child shouldn't be embarrassed because she was manipulated by a grown-ass man. Bless you.
Well, I mean, no, you would be embarrassed. Trust me. Because this is the girl that gets peed on. This is the pee tape. You see? So, is there embarrassment? Probably, of course, yes. You know, is it her fault?
No.
Well, no, probably not.
It's not
You
her
see?
fault.
But I think that's the issue that we have as a society, is that we're trying to place blame in these cases, and we shouldn't be looking to place blame, because honestly, this cycle of that is happening didn't start with R. Kelly. See, it started before him with someone else, and probably someone else and someone else and someone else. So it's just a cycle that's continuing, and that doesn't give him license to do it or to be this way. But if you're going to try to place blame,
You have to go.
you got to go
way
back.
further than him.
You see, and I think that's what America is not really willing to deal with. America is not willing, and not just America. I'm talking about across the world. When it comes to this one issue, people that are predators aren't predators out of nowhere.
Right.
Usually, something happened. Something is going on, and then they are, and we're seeing it. You know, we're seeing it play out now, where all of this stuff is coming to light.
I'd like to know why it is that if a male child is molested, they become a predator. But when a female child is molested, they don't.
That's not true, though.
But most of them don't.
One of the people that molested him was his babysitter. You cannot do that. You cannot say that. The problem is, the stories are not coming out. It's not coming out. If I'm a boy and a woman that is a teenager and I'm young molests me, I'm not walking around telling everybody I got molested. It's just not the same. You see?
Nice.
It's not the same. It doesn't
But girls don't walk around
it doesn't
and say
play
it
out.
either.
It doesn't play out the same. It just doesn't play out the same. A boy that gets older, he's not going to see himself as victim by that woman. He's going to see it differently. Whereas you flip the genders, but have the ages the same, that girl is now victimized.
But that boy was victimized.
Technically, yes. But isn't our idea of victimhood based on how we think of it?
Right.
We see ourselves as a victim or not as a victim. That's why we can tell people, don't let yourself be victimized, because it's all in how you see it. Right?
Maybe.
I mean, no, I'm not talking about physical acts. What I'm talking about is when you're how you view it, how you think about it later on. So if I'm 16 and there's a 24-year-old woman who wants to have sex with me, do I see myself as a victim? Hell no.
You see yourself as
I see
a
myself,
player.
I'm like the man. I mean,
lucky.
you know, it's like, come on now, she's 20-some years old.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Yup.
You're not gonna,
Yeah.
but that's the point. You're not gonna, that guy is not gonna see himself as a victim. Even if you're like the one couple, the guy was in junior high school.
The
and
teacher,
You're never gonna see yourself. You're never gonna view yourself as anything but desirable by women. At a time when women do not find you desirable. You see, and now you are desirable. Now, flip it. Have we gotten to a place where young girls, young teens are now desirable to 20-somethings
Oh,
men?
yes. But you know
But
that
are they victims? Do they see themselves as victims?
No.
Or do they see themselves like, I just got it going on?
Yes, that's how they see
Now,
themselves.
if that's the case, are they victims?
No.
Well, you said yes before. You said yes, they are victims. Technically, they are victims. Are they victims? See, now we're talking about victim here or victim by law. Because, like you said, you had Loretta Lynn. She gets married at 13.
Yep.
And that's a common thing of the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, especially in rural America. That was just normal. You know, you married off your daughters.
Yeah.
I thought being a victim, you didn't consent.
No. What we're talking about, we're not talking about being molested. That's molestation.
Is it not consensual?
That's not consensual. But being a victim is how you view it. So if I go into the office and I'm standing by the water cooler and I tell a anti-Semitic joke and a Jewish person is standing there, are they victimized? Do they feel victimized? You see? And it crosses all the things, gender, religion, age. Now, it doesn't matter what the group. When are you a victim? Are you only a victim when you think about when you say you're a victim, or are you a victim because you have been technically victimized? And like I said, when you're young and you don't understand anything about sex, that physical nature of sex, and you don't know anything about it,
right?
You probably are being victimized.
Yep.
Because there's confusion and you don't understand what's going on, and there's secrecy most likely, and there's that control that comes along with all that.
One of the things I want to know is these girls who had fallen prey to this ridiculousness, this sex cult.
See, you keep calling it ridiculous. You're doing the exact same thing that society has done.
No, it's the fact that this is still going on.
Yeah, but it's still going on, but why would it stop?
Nobody can stop it.
No, but why would it stop?
Okay, so these young women, were they all from controlling households, or were they from different types of parenting backgrounds, or...
You're trying to make a connection to what?
They
all grew up the same way, so then that's why...
No.
That's why they fell victim to R. Kelly?
No. I'm trying to understand the mindset of the young women. Were they looking for freedom? Were they looking for attention? Were they looking for
what does a teenage... Okay, you tell me. You tell
me.
Stop. What does a teenage girl look for?
Attention.
So if somebody gives them that, and that someone is a star... Isn't that enough?
It's the highest level of attention you could get.
Isn't that enough?
Maybe.
You know? See, we're not talking about the bad uncle or the father
or the babysitter
we're not talking about we're not talking about getting attention from them. That becomes something that's like, ooh, what's going on here? Something's wrong.
Right.
And they feel that something wrong. But I'm on the street, one of the girls' stories, I'm on the street at the court case, and every morning he walks by and I say, keep your head up. Every morning. Every time he walks into the courtroom. Years later, after the court case is over, he remembered her.
Oh, no.
You see what I'm saying? So, what else is she going to do? I'm not saying that she's not complicit, but what I'm saying is she
was complicit.
She liked that guy already.
Yep.
She didn't think that the charges were founded. He was not found guilty.
Right.
And he calls. He's still a star. She's still a teen. What? Why? How is that different than the captain of the basketball team that's so cute and you want to go
It's not any different.
Right. It's not any
It's
different.
not any different.
And so for that teenager, she's so happy. I mean, it's, oh my God, this guy is interested in me. This guy that I already admire and like, and in some cases love. You know? I mean, women don't throw their panties on the stage for nothing. Right?
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I've been at his concerts.
Think about it.
And they throw their panties.
Oh, they did it to Teddy P too.
They did it to Boyz II Men and Babyface
Okay.
and
So
Luther. They did it to
Luther didn't even want the damn panties.
He didn't. He wanted to draw.
He wanted them draws. He wanted them man draws. He wanted them with a box of briefs is what he wanted.
The mankini.
Not the mankini.
The budgie smuggler.
No, it's not. But yeah, I mean, all of it is problematic. The whole situation from beginning to end, and well, beginning to today, because it's not ended, it's all problematic. And I have a problem now, because honestly, when you wrap the music business around all of this,
yeah.
Oh, there's all kinds of women out there from all different places and all different genres of music that are going through this same stuff.
Yep.
We're just not hearing those stories. We're focusing on one guy.
Yeah.
But trust me, there's a lot of teenage women out there that went to
They're not women.
hard rock concert. No, they're women now.
Oh, okay.
You see, that went to hard rock concerts and got back to the back room.
Yeah.
Got in with the band.
Yeah.
And all kinds of stuff happened, and they may be scarred for life, and they're not talking about it, and they're not passing on that information, blah blah blah.
Not yet.
But they're there.
Yep.
So those stories are probably going to be coming, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm. There's something that I don't know that the society is going to have to grapple with, because you got people, you know, like Lady Gaga is going to come out and say, "Oh, I shouldn't have worked with him," and I think Chance the Rapper said the same thing in the thing, and it's like, no, you shouldn't do that. I said it earlier today. You should say, at the time, I was not sure. This man was not convicted.
Right.
I am not in his house, but I'm not in his house.
Right.
I don't know what the hell his whole thing is. I'm looking at it as a money venture. I'm looking to make money on my music. That's what I do. And if I can, if he is a
transaction.
Producer, and you know, or a songwriter, and we can lay down the track, and we go on tour, and we just say it was a business thing.
It was.
This has nothing to do with all that other crap that he's got going on at home.
Yep.
You know. And they're acting like, oh, it matters. It's like, no, it matters. It may matter for your Oscar.
It may matter now if you went and collaborated with him now.
No, it matters if you knew.
Right, it matters if you knew.
If you knew and then you went and said, yeah, let's go work with that dude to make some money, well, then you're just a money grubbing kind of person. I mean, that's just who you are.
Yeah, if you didn't know and you had no way of
But see, that's just it. At that time, the only people that would have known what was going on are the people that
worked for him.
Yeah, the people that handled all of this stuff, the people that flew the girls in, and the people that did the people that went to the malls and got the teenagers to come be with him in all the cities that he was in. Why?
What do you mean, why?
If I go to a mall and say, R. Kelly's having a party, you want to go to a party? There's nothing illegal there.
It's just an invitation.
There's nothing illegal. Nothing. I don't care how old the girl is. There's still nothing illegal.
I bet you there is.
No, not to go to a party, not to be invited to a party. Hey, you guys want to go hang out with R. Kelly at this hotel? We got 2 floors. I bet you there's nothing illegal about that. It's not until they get there. It's not until the camera comes out. It's not until sex starts happening or something.
Alcohol.
It's all right. It's all the other things. But hey, do you want to go to a party at this place?
I'm sure there's some sort of.
There isn't.
There isn't.
You can't go to a bar. You can't go to a club because alcohol is being served. But you can go to your own family's party where alcohol is being served. It's a private party.
Right.
You can go there. You can be there. And you're just not supposed to drink. You can be, as a minor, around alcohol consumption. You just can't drink it.
You've had some.
I know,
That's all right
but
now.
still.
You do not. You have coffee.
Yeah, it's plain coffee, sorry. But yes, so I mean, when you think about that, you know, the handler, they know what's going on. They know that these girls are locked in these rooms or stuck in this place or whatever. They know it. You know, they know that some of them were going without food for more than 2, almost 3 days. They know it.
What?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. It's there.
I'm not watching it.
You know, but like I said, it's a cautionary tale. You're talking about how do you protect your children?
Yeah.
How do you protect your daughter?
Show 'em
You
that
better
shit.
understand. It's not about trying to scare them straight. It's about having the conversation that it's going to lead to. Because
Well, I think-
trust me, there's a whole lot of conversations in this documentary series that are going to come up for all kinds of people.
I
and
think
it's
that
not
that's-
just teenagers.
But I think that's part of the reason why this continues on and on and on and on and on, generation after generation, is because those conversations never happen.
Right.
I've had conversations with our children because I couldn't live with myself if anything happened to them.
No, you could.
No, I could not.
Actually, yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Think of all the people that have been molested in the world and their parents still have to stay alive and try to help them and try to help them through it, help them manage it. Yeah, trust me. Because if you just think about what you're saying. Something bad happens to you and I can't take it. That's not true. It's just not how it works. As a parent, you're going to help them through it, even if it's a bad breakup.
Well, that's gonna happen.
Well,
there's nothing I can do to stop that.
It's not that you can stop it, but you got to help them on the other side of it. You see?
Why can't they just say little people and stay with me forever?
Because that's not how life works.
That's really not how things work. Sorry.
Don't logic me, sir.
I mean, soon he's gonna be sitting here drinking coffee in front of you.
I don't
Look
care.
at it.
He doesn't like coffee. He'll drink cocoa or tea.
FYI, I didn't like coffee until I got to university.
I didn't like coffee until in my 30s, and I still don't like coffee. I like creamer.
Excuse me. Pardon me. I don't
You
know.
can stay with mommy, and I can
No.
protect you forever.
No, you can't. We've had this conversation before. You've tried to do this. This is not the first time.
It won't be the last. I can promise you.
You can't protect us forever.
I can try.
You can try, but you're not going to be successful 100% of the time.
I've got a pretty good record so far.
Yeah, that's because we live in the same house.
What is that clicking noise?
Not clock.
No.
Oh, probably the monitor creaking. Does that?
Okay. Are you sure you don't want to stay?
Yeah, I'm sure. Because at some point, I want to live in my own place.
What?
Why?
You getting your own place tomorrow?
Not tomorrow, but at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
Tomorrow sounds good.
I don't have
You're
any
right.
money.
Money? Why do you need money? You need money to get your own place?
To pay for it, yeah.
Well, that means you better get a goddamn job then.
That's why.
Your
it's a
sister has
school
one.
thing. Okay.
Time to get a job, man. Time to make that money.
You could get a TEFL and teach English.
I don't want to teach English.
But it's easy money.
I know, but I don't want
It's
to teach
not
English.
easy money. That is so not true.
It's not true.
I wish it was easy money. It's certainly not easy money. And I went to school for it.
Yeah.
I'd rather teach art if I was going to teach something.
But
You can
But
do
I
that.
don't want to teach.
Anyway, I the problems that we see that are these societal issues, society is really not designed to deal with them.
no. Well, you guys went back to Michigan, and when you came back, Keegan asked me how old someone was, and I told her that she was 12, and she said, but she looks like she's 16. She acts like she's 16. She dresses like she's 16, and I said, yep.
Yeah, but
That's
okay.
how American girls are. That's how our culture
Yeah, but how
is.
does a 12-year-old dress? When we were in high school in 12, How does a 12-year-old dress? That's different than a 16-year-old. Sorry, but same age, same dressing. It's the same. They're in the same headspace.
They are?
Hell yeah. 12-year-old. What does a 12-year-old want to be? 16. What does a 16-year-old want to be? 19. They're in the same headspace. They're already.
They always want to be something else.
Yeah, they're always looking to be the old. That's what adolescence is.
It's these conversations that I have with her that make me even more thankful that we left when we did.
Why?
Because they got.
You think it's different here?
Oh,
have you seen my students?
I have seen your students, and I have seen the high school students.
They're
and
sixth
I am
graders.
so thankful my kids stay at home.
I'm just saying, they're 6th graders.
Especially our son.
Why? You should come visit.
These young ladies are stunning. They're beautiful, and they.
I don't see why is that a problem. I mean, think about what you're saying. These women look good. It's like, what? Wait a minute. You want him to only what?
I want him to stay
be
away.
around ugly ass women. I mean, come on now.
I want him to be around ugly ass women he's not attracted to, so that he can stay safe and stay with.
Stay safe. What are you talking about?
I think my problem with that is like, you want us to do certain things, and ultimately you're preparing us to deal with the world. But how are we supposed to do that if you don't let us experience anything?
You experience lots of things. Don't start with me, sir.
But how are we going to?
You notice that she just got shorter.
Be able to live without having interaction with people?
You have interaction with people?
No, we don't. We
Well,
really don't.
You
could. You can go to the mall right now. Let's go. Chop.
You and Keegan.
The only interaction I have with a person outside of this house is the people at OXO.
Okay, but that's your choice.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Why isn't it?
Because you.
I've said, do you guys want to take language class? Do you want to take an art class? Do you want to do this?
That's not.
It is because
no,
that's where
not.
you meet
No,
people
no,
your age.
No.
It's not.
That's so not true.
The mall.
You don't go and stick people into a classroom where they have to sit quietly and learn. You don't put them in a classroom and tell them to go interact with people. That's just not. No. You have to actually go places where people are actually interacting.
Okay.
Not in a classroom, you freaking academic. That's just not what you do. If you want to be around the people that I got to know well, every time I had to move was always usually at a park, around basketball. It was walking from here to there. It was doing stuff. It was not going to class.
But they're 16 and almost 15.
And it's,
almost
like
17.
I said, it's still not going to class.
Okay. However, they could walk the 4 minutes to the mall.
Oh, you want to send them to the mall alone?
They could go.
Oh, really?
They could go.
You hear that?
But they don't want to go alone.
You might.
They could go.
If he went, because
if I had something to go and do, I would. But I have nothing to go and do.
I don't think you understand that people go to the mall to go to the mall.
And look at the girls.
But you don't do it because you don't have anybody to meet at the mall.
True.
See, we went to the mall as the mall was the meeting place, and then you walk around with your friends, and you sometimes get some food, you might get some coffee, you might
look at the girls,
you
look at the guys.
But I'm saying that's going to the mall. You're meeting your friends at the mall, but you got to make the friends. But that's
also
part of growing up expat.
Yeah,
it could be.
Also, I don't know how to do that anymore.
Well, you could always, learn to speak Spanish.
Yeah, but learning to speak the language doesn't help you with social interaction.
Yes, it does.
How are you gonna have social interaction without language?
No. Yeah, you will be able to talk.
Booyah! Yeah, that's the point. You have to learn how to talk so that then you can.
The reason why
conversation.
you don't have the confidence to have the conversations is because you don't have the language. And you might have some of the language in here, but you can't get the language from here to here.
But you can always speak in English.
Yeah, because most of the kids here take English classes from.
Trust me, language is really not your barrier. Your barrier is walking out the front door.
Yep. Just go outside.
Just go on out there, man.
You
could be outside all the time right here.
You could go over to the soccer stadium and watch a game and meet people.
Nobody likes that.
I didn't say he had to play.
Who the fuck wants to watch a whole bunch of third legs running around playing soccer? Oh,
I'd rather play it.
oh, the shame, the horror of it all. Watching freaking soccer. You know, it's a whole bunch of. Oh no.
Apparently, there's somewhere in the area where they play American football. Because a couple of my students play and their older siblings play.
Why would you want to go watch a whole bunch of guys play football?
You watch football on Sundays for
No.
decades.
No, I'm saying as a social activity, when you don't have friends, going to watch a football game does not
I don't know.
get you friends.
Okay,
That's
but
not how that works.
it's not like there's a park nearby where they can go play basketball or.
Oh, there might be.
Well, then y'all need to explore.
Might be down there by the
No.
Ah! That would suck ass to have to walk
No.
back up that hill after
Not
playing basketball.
No.
But you'll be like fit.
It's a mini mountain.
I know.
And I wouldn't be able to.
You'd be fit.
I'd have to like just push myself off the bed and fall
What's
on
the
my
problem?
face.
What's the problem?
I couldn't move.
But
Yeah,
the more you
welcome,
do
welcome
that-
to sports.
But the more you do that, the less you have to throw yourself off the bed. You just get up and go.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, you could. You have opportunity. You have the best opportunity here for making friends and talking to people and getting to know people. You have those opportunities more here than you did in Asia because of the language. Because you could most likely speak in English to most everybody that comes up. Almost every parent that I have walks up and says, my English is terrible, or I don't speak much English, and they speak English like almost as good as I do. You know.
I have I think less than 5 parents who don't speak any English at all.
And most of the students have been taking English for as long as you have.
Yep.
If they're in high school now, they've probably had English most of their entire lives.
Yeah.
So it's like, and their pop culture is coming from English speaking places. Their movies are coming. I mean, yeah, think about it. Everything. You're
they
just
speak
in Mexico.
American
You're in Southern America.
Right.
You're in the Southern U.S. You're in the other U.S.
U.S. light.
Well, this is the United States of Mexico.
I know.
So you're in the other U.S. So, I don't know. Got to get out there, man. But see, that's just it. See, as parents, you want to say you got to go out there, but knowing that there's all these dangers out there, that's what we call growing up.
Yep.
That is the growing up. That's why you can't listen to the mommy.
Stay with me.
Nah.
Don't go.
Nah.
Stay.
Get out.
Stay.
No.
You can stay with me forever and ever.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Can't do it.
Anyway. So I don't know. The series is causing problems. Apparently, you know, poor R. Kelly is
Yeah, he was in
having
panic attacks.
panic attacks. But guess what? Did you know that he can't read?
Yes, I did know.
I did not know that.
I knew
How
that
does he
when
memorize
the
lyrics?
Why do you have to memorize lyrics to read? If you he can speak, can't read.
what was the album that came out? Maybe it was
He doesn't read well.
the
is what they say.
12 play album when Sadie, that one. I remember an interview back then that said he was illiterate.
Yeah, he dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
After his 11th grade year, which is kind of weird because
How do you get to 11th grade and can't read? But
well, there's that.
Yeah.
But the other side
You
is
passed first grade, you'll
he
read.
pretty much like they were saying that they weren't the people, his handlers, his friends, they weren't telling him what people were saying about him on the internet.
they were protecting
That's
him.
how. But think about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can read at a 5th grade, 6th grade level,
Yep.
you can understand what people are saying on the internet.
Yep.
So why is it that you don't know what people are saying about you
Uh-huh.
on the internet, and you're relying on someone else to tell you what they're saying? That means you really can't read.
Right. You
at
don't
this
have the
age.
basic.
Right. It's like,
You don't
what
have
are you talking about?
You don't have your ABCs down. You don't even have first grade sight
So
words
I don't,
at that
I don't,
point.
I don't understand that. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, I understand being able to play by ear. I understand being able to play music without writing it down. I get
Right.
that, because I mean, I did that myself with the drums.
Right.
I didn't really have to learn how to read music. I could just learn how to play it and learn it by ear. But I already knew how to read music. But this weird idea that this man has been running around all these years and not being able to
Yep.
read.
1993 is when I learned that.
Yeah, but it's got to be through. I mean, he's still there. He's still in that
Yeah.
headspace. So it's like you're telling me that basically,
Nobody
as a
took
student,
the time, and he didn't take the
no,
time.
no, that's not true. His first wife. It's how they connected.
Aaliyah?
No, his second wife.
Oh.
That's how they connected or how she connected to him was his desire to learn how to read.
Huh. But he never learned.
But he never did. It was how he got the hooks in.
Got ya.
Was that desire to read or whatever. So yeah, I'm
I
telling
wonder
you,
how
it's
many
a
times
very
he's used that.
convoluted story. Well, it can't be that many.
Right.
It can't be that many. You can only use it essentially once. These kids were kids. They were 17, 16, 15, 14. Sorry, you're not asking them to teach you to read.
No.
You're the big star and you're going to come to a 14-year-old and say, "Are you help me read?" Yeah, it's a wild thing. All right, what else we got? Anything else? Is that it for the week?
Was it this week we started looking at universities for you?
Yeah.
Have you done any more research?
Not really.
Which country are you thinking would be the best fit so far?
I don't know.
Have you decided what you want to study?
Stuff.
Not really.
You want to
Just-
be undeclared?
just
General
something to do
education?
with art, graphic design, that kind of
You want to be General Intelligence Joe?
What?
A Renaissance man.
No. General Intelligence Joe. G.I. Joe.
Is that what that stands for?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't thought about a country.
We did find a program in France, in southern France. It's an American university, which is good because if for any reason he needed to go back to the States or wanted to go back to the States, his degree would be from an American university. And the U.S. has this issue where they don't like to take degrees from outside of certain countries. Theirs is number 1 and everybody else is number 50. So there's that, but then there's also the fact that if you wanted to go on and get a master's or a PhD and you have a U.S. degree, then a lot of times you can get into a grad program where they pay you to study. So some of that, even though it's in southern France, if your child is looking at universities, you should really be looking at universities abroad, because in France they pay like $300 a year for tuition. That doesn't cover living costs. It doesn't cover, dorms or apartment or whatever. It's just tuition is $300 a year.
So we got to move to France.
No, he can move to France. I would love to move to France.
Southern France.
I would love to move to southern France that's on the Mediterranean.
On the Med.
Let's go. But this particular university I was looking at for Aaron had art history, graphic design, all different.
Okay, but here's the kicker.
Art? Don't you
What?
have to take art history no matter what art?
No.
No. As far as I'm concerned, yes, you should have
You should
a
have
historical.
a major and a minor.
Well, no. I'm saying you should have a historical background to whatever you're going to study. So, if you're going to study art, you should know where those techniques and where those ideas come from, so that you can be knowledgeable about what you're doing. But you don't need it in order to do the art. So, like, if you're going to do graphic design, you do not really need to focus on art history. Right. You don't need to know all the. It's probably better if you do.
Right.
But you probably don't need it. But here's my question: what does he need to apply.
He's going to have to take some sort of entrance exam.
Right.
So it's better if he takes the SAT.
So we need some SAT prep stuff.
Yes.
Oh no. And that means math.
Because by January, you have to be ready to apply. By January next year, you have to send in your applications, and if you need financial aid for places, you're going to have all of that stuff in.
Pressure!
It's better if you do the applications in December and January, because then you're almost guaranteed a spot if you qualify.
Doom, 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 doom.
This is what I've been telling
Doom, 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 doom.
my step-nephew, that he needed to have his FAFSA stuff in this month. He should have had it in January 2nd. The sooner you get it in, the more money you get.
Okay, but you're talking about inside of the States.
Inside of
We're
the
not
States.
talking about inside
However,
the States.
some of these universities in different countries like Germany, Norway, Sweden,
Germany might be a good place.
Italy. Germany is completely free. But he doesn't want to go to Germany.
Yes, but remember, you're only talking about education. You're talking about essentially 4 years.
Right.
You're not talking about living there for the rest of your life. You're talking about 4 years. Any university you choose, anywhere in the world, you're still just talking about a very small amount of time to take whatever classes you need in order to graduate to then go to the next thing. It's a small piece of a much larger educational
Ireland and Scotland are also part of this group where American students can apply for financial aid as if they were going to school in the States. They could still apply for financial aid and go to school in these different countries.
Well, it looks like you got a lot to figure out, and
I can't do it.
It can't
for
be
you.
me, beating you at some disc game.
You're the one who wants to go. As far as I'm concerned, you can stay and go to college online.
Where's he gonna do that?
Wherever he wants. He's got a computer.
You gonna go to college online? You don't have to go to class?
You just go online.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe I should do that.
You could get your master's that way.
Ooh, that might be fun. Especially since most of the time all your master's stuff is all done by yourself anyway.
Yep.
I should do that. I should look into it. We could do it together.
No.
Yeah.
You get your bachelor's, I get my master's. Yeah.
What are you going to get your master's in? Education? English? Photography?
I can't get a master's in photography of it. All I have is a bachelor's in English.
You don't know.
Well, I would just be breaking my own rule. I didn't take any of the art history. I didn't learn any of the other stuff. I don't know if you can get a master's in photography. Maybe. Yeah. Getting a bachelor's in photography might be good, though. I don't know if I need to do that, though.
But you might want to.
Well, I've been doing it since I was like
I know.
6 years old. Anyway, you got anything else for the people today? ¿Dónde está el papel?
Don't say Bob. Apparently, when Keegan and I went shopping yesterday, I kept switching languages and didn't even realize I was doing it.
Okay, you and your word salad, you get so happy about this.
She was cracking up. She was pointing it out. I didn't even notice it. But Keegan was just...
Don't be pointing off camera.
Oh, come here, Keegan.
No, she's fine. Go ahead. She can't
I
squeeze
dropped something at H&M. And I said, Maya, and Keegan just busted out laughing. And I'm like, what's so funny? And she's like, you just keep changing the languages.
Oh.
You and Daddy just do it with the Maya.
Maya.
When you're crossing the street, I thought you were doing it intentionally.
I was not.
Anyway,
I was
why
not.
is it a big deal?
It was just funny that's what...
It's not funny anymore.
She was laughing
It's
at me all
It's kind
day.
of a normal thing now.
It's normal for us, but for her, she was cracking up all day long.
So good. Maybe she was just laughing at you because,
I'm funny.
yeah, looking. All right.
Hey!
You got anything else for the people?
No, but I can't wait for game talk, whatever the hell you call it. I got something for that.
I tell you like this.
No.
No. Listen. The funny thing about this is, we don't really know what the show is called because it's game chat and then it's gamer chat. And if you look at all of our stuff, it's got like both names are all mixed up and jumbled in there. Last week, I think I said
y'all fucking drive me crazy.
We need to have the thumbnail made. Yeah. But on the thumbnail it said game chat, but then in the video say gamer chat, and it's all messed up.
I believe it says gamer chat.
Yeah, see, it's all messed up. So basically, we just talk about games. Yeah. We talk about what we've been playing. That's the me and him thing,
which was only yesterday. And this
I'm a guest star this week.
You're gonna guest star. You always sit over there in the corner. The people hear you.
Yeah, we cut you out of the shop, but you're still there.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're physically. You take over Aaron's disembodied voice thing because you over there giggling and stuff. They know you there.
This time I'm gonna stay on camera for a few minutes.
All right, look.
Let them have it.
If you want to find us on the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, or the Spotify, we are the Traveling Farrs. If you want to find us at Twitter and Instagram, Traveling Farrs. On the email, travelingfars@gmail.com. And on the blog space, the travelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry. Oh, I think I need to find a way to take a picture of the setup.
Why? What is this setup? How is this different?
Nobody has seen the lights.
I know. I was looking for that this morning because someone was all excited about her new ring light, and I was like, "You should see our setup." I kind of envy your little ring light because your little ring light.
Good.
I know her little ring light looked very convenient. Like she could just pop it in her bag and off she went.
Okay, but nobody cares about that if you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Portability is not an issue. If I give you the other light and pop it on top of the camera and you went around, yeah, you'd have a light. You'd have an LED light. But that's I'm sorry, but ring lights. What has happened? What has happened is people have been doing lights, and in their eyeballs there's this little
ring.
dot.
Yep.
And now with a ring light, you have a ring of light,
yep.
which makes it look like you have two pupils, which makes you look like a weird alien person.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm not down with the trend.
And
really,
in your glasses.
Scarves off my bed.
Yeah, it happens in your glasses too. So I would much rather have
soft,
nice soft light,
soft lighting,
lit fairly well. What is the problem, people?
Not that I'm communicating with our child.
Why are you doing this right now?
Because I need to do it before she goes to sleep.
Say goodbye to the people. Say goodbye. Look up. Look at them. They're right there. Oh God, he's doing it again. Karen, say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people.
Peace! So sad. Keegan, make him stop.